welcome back. Talking money. The stock market has taken a beating because of COVID-19.
And so tonight we're talking to the experts, Amy, what people close to retirement should do and what should they keep in mind as the possibility of a recession looms. With the coronavirus outbreak, so many people are worried about their money right now, and financial experts are scrambling to keep up with all of the long lines of people who are Skyping, emailing, and asking a lot of questions. And one of those advisors from Telemis is Matt Dimitrijan, and we thank you so much for joining us today, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about what it is that people should be keeping in mind right now when it comes to their portfolios.
Sure, yeah, and the volatility is really high. We've gone through a period of 5 years where we had pretty low volatility outside of the fourth quarter of 2018, and now we're going through days where the market's up or down 10% in a given day. What
do you tell someone right now who was planning on retiring and was getting close to that point and now doesn't know what to do?
Yeah, it's a tough decision. I think there's an interesting statistic that the average bear market, when we go from kind of peak to trough going into a bear market, averages a 32% decline. And we've kind of experienced something like that in the last 4 weeks. So this isn't unusual as we go into a bear market. It's scary and painful when you go through it. But, you know, this is a transitory impact. We do believe at some point we come out of coronavirus scare in a not too distant future. And so if you're looking out 6, 12, 2 months or 2 years before you retire, we think the market will have an opportunity to bounce back.
Another group that's obviously very worried right now, we're talking about people who are already retired, who are depending on that nest egg. What should they be doing and what should they be thinking right now?
If you are retired and you're watching that nest egg, bonds have held up pretty well here. There are components of the bond market, like high yield bonds, that have struggled. But, look, you have to also remember, why are you investing? And are you investing for that income stream? Are you just investing for the next 5 or 10 years? And don't just react because of a painful one.
Matt, a lot of people are saying this is not a time to panic, but to prepare. What does that mean for you?
Yeah, we think even in your investment portfolio, now's the time to think about the long-term opportunity. As we in our clients' portfolio, the last 12, 18 months, we had been de-risking portfolios and taking some risk out of the portfolios. In the last week or so, we've really started to see a significant amount of dislocation in the market. And now's the time to think about preparing your portfolio for the next several years out, when you get to see some opportunities in various components of the stock market and even the bond market.
When you take a look at the impact on local and national businesses right now, and really the global markets, this pandemic is really taking its toll already, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I think it's more likely than not we will face a recession. As we're looking at this market, we think about it in the range of scenarios because we're all digesting a slew of new information every day. And I think it's more likely than not we're going to have a recession here in the second quarter, or at least a contraction in economic growth. And I think the question is, how quickly do we snap back into the third and fourth quarter this year?
Matt Dimitrijan with Telemis, we thank you so much for your time today. Good advice. Yeah, so we've seen this movie before with different actors and certainly a much different plot twist. And we just have to remember that we've seen down times with the economy before. We know what happens. We know what the government has to do. We know what the Treasury has to do. Bottom line is what you and I have to do is really kind of keep tabs on what's going on and make the right decisions.
Yeah, a lot of people, though, facing a lot of hard times ahead in the near future, and that's for sure. Yeah.